Think making a top is hard? Let me show you how to make the one that I am wearing. Today, I will teach you how to make Simplicity S3003. I am making view B, the one that the model is wearing. If that is something that you are interested in, then keep on watching. You're only using 5 pattern pieces. So you need piece 1 is your front, and you are going to cut 1 on the fold. 2, which is your back, and you are going to cut 2 pieces. 3, which is your neckband, you're going to cut 1. 4, which is your sleeve, and you are going to cut 2 pieces. 5, which is your sleeve ruffle, and you are going to cut 2 pieces. Transfer all of your notches and markings and meet me at the sewing table. I have all of my pattern pieces cut out, and I'm using this beautiful cheetah type black, blue, and I guess baby blue fabric. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pin my pieces together. Those are the 2 back pieces, and I have them clipped already. I'm going to pin my sleeves together. So I'm just going to pin everything together so that when I go to the machine, I can just sew everything up one time. That is what I like to do. Make sure your notches are aligned. All right, so I have both of my sleeves and my back. So now I can begin sewing. So this is the sleeve band. I'm going to sew that together as well. Because I don't have sufficient fabric, I had to cut the bell sleeves out of contrasting fabric, but I don't have a problem with that. So for your bell sleeves, you have to put it's 2 rows of, you have to put 2 rows of gathering stitches. So all you have to do is use the largest stitch length on your machine. You're going to put 2 rows of gathering stitches. So I'm going to do all of that, and when I finish that, then I will come back and show you how that looks. We're going to stitch using a 5/8 inch seam allowance. So that is what you have so far. All right, so I have the back stitched together, 2 backs. So now the back is just 1 piece, and it's that same down the middle. I'm going to serge that. I also stitched the 2 of my sleeves, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put two rows of gathering stitches from where that notch starts and then to the next notch. For the ruffle for C, I'm also going to put 2 rows of gathering stitches, because that will make it easier when we try to, because this here is bigger, this opening will be bigger than the actual sleeve opening, so you need gathering stitches to ease that in. So I'm going to do that now. Off camera, I'm going to iron that down so that it can lay flatter, but that is how it looks. I'm going to do the 2 rows of gathering stitches on both of the sleeves as well as the ruffle. So let me do that now. Make sure put your machine on straight stitch and put it on 4, which is the highest, whichever is the highest level on your machine. Make sure you leave 2 pieces on the tail so that you are able to gather your piece. My 2 rows of gathering stitches, I'm going to do that for all 4 of those pieces, and then when I come back, I will show you the next step. I'm going to join my front and back together at the shoulder seam. So I'm going to pin them down, and then I'm going to stitch it down. Once I finish doing this, I'm going to stitch my shoulder seams as well as my side seams. When I finish doing that, then I will try my top on to make sure that I am happy with the fit. Okay, so now that I have my shoulder seams and my side seams pinned, I'm going to take this to the machine and I'm going to stitch using a 5/8 inch seam allowance. When I'm done with that, again, I'm going to try on my top first. And then I'm going to serge the edges. And then when I come back, I'm going to tell you what to do next. So now I'm going to try my top on just to make sure that she fits me like how I want her to fit me. I have tried on my top. I also ironed it. She's ironed. And get in the habit of ironing your pieces as you go. So I'm just going to put this aside. And now I'm going to work on my ruffles for my sleeves. So I have pinned it down, and now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew it using a 5/8 inch seam allowance. When I finish sewing it, then I'm going to take my sleeve. I'm going to attach the sleeve back, the ruffle to the sleeve. So when I finish sewing this down, I'm going to gather it to fit, because as you can see now, let's see, it's a little bit bigger. Actually, I could have just stretched that in, you know. Maybe I didn't even need that gathering stitch, but that's what they said. So let's see, I didn't even need that gathering stitch, to be honest. Anyway, that's fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pretend like I didn't do that, but it's there. So that's that. So when I finish sewing this down, I'm going to serge it, because technically, like I said, I don't really need that gathering stitch. Yeah. Now that we have both of our ruffles sewn, I'm going to take this to my handy dandy serger, which is right here. I'm going to attach them to my sleeves. With our sleeves right side out, we're going to put our sleeves into the ruffle, and then I'm going to line up the side seams, which are on the ruffle but not the actual sleeve. I don't know how I managed that, but yes, so line those two up. See, the notch is actually on the ruffle, but I didn't transfer them on the sleeves. All right, so, and then all I have to do is put another pin in between there, and then when I am sewing, I just have to stretch just a little bit. Now we have one sleeve pinned to our ruffle. I'm going to do the same thing for this side. So now that we have both of our ruffles attached to our sleeves, I'm going to sew them down now. Back stitch at the beginning and at the end. So one sleeve down, and that is how it looks. I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. So now that I have all two of my sleeves and ruffles sewn together, I'm going to serge it, and then I'm going to iron it, and then I will come back and show you the next step. So let me do that now. I am done attaching, like I said, the sleeve. I'm going to hem the bottom of my sleeves. I'm going to do a quarter of an inch for both of them. And then when I finish that, then I'm going to come back and show you the next steps. I hemmed my sleeve already. I just used my surgeon thread, and then I just hemmed both of them. And hopefully this black isn't too stark on this. So now I'm going to put these aside. I've already done it for all two of them. I'm going to put them aside for right now. And now I'm going to work on my neck band. So actually, let me just iron because my iron is still hot. So let me do that right quick and then come right back. Now I'm going to fold it over itself. I hope I transferred notches, because I'm thinking I thought I did on things and I'm realizing that maybe I didn't. But I'm hoping I did. There are some notches that you use to line it up. So let me just put a pin there because there's a notch right there. I don't know why it's not on the other side, but as long as one is there. And then this is the other one. So now I'm going to bring my top, and I now, let's see if it's a little bit better. I'm going to line up the back to the back. Make sure you line up that seam. Line that up. Okay, so this is a notch right here. Let's line that up. And just put a pin right there. Let's just line the rest of this up. Okay, so I guess that's probably where the notch was supposed to be, because I see a little indentation there. So I'm assuming that is where the notch was supposed to be. But like I said, I don't know what happened. And then we will stretch that little bit right there. And that is that. Let me do my sleeve the same time, and I just sew it together. All right, so notches should be, I am certain I have notches there. So I'm going to take the sleeve, and it's right side out. I'm just going to put it in my top, and make sure you match up your okay, so that's not the right one because I can see one. Make sure you have the right sleeve. Okay, so this one here, we're gonna put that in the shirt. And like I said, you're gonna make sure that your notches, it's a single notch there and it's a single notch there. So let's pin at the, let's pin right here. You're gonna make sure that they match right there. Right there. And let's put a pin there. And then we're going to match up the notches. And as you can see, there's a notch right there. Let's match that up. Put a pin there. And then on the other side, you should have two notches. Let's match them up. Let's put a pin there. And then we should have a, well, I put a notch there for the center. So I'm going to match that up right there. And so I'm going to put a pin there. We're going to gather. We're going to take these two, and we're just going to pull on them to gather it. Make sure you distribute it evenly. I'm going to distribute it to the other side. So let's see, did we do it? And that is just going to ease. Let's see, do we need to do any more? Okay. And that's just going to ease that right in there. I'm trying not to, I want to make sure. Okay, so we can put a pin right there. So a pin on the outside because all the rest of my pins are on the outside. I want to make sure I don't have any puckers in my sleeve. So let's just... Okay, so I have all two of my sleeves pinned in. I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to stitch down all two of my sleeves, and I'm also going to stitch my neck band in. And when I'm done with that, I am going to serge the raw edges, and then I am going to hem the bottom. And to hem the bottom, all you do is fold over a 1/2 inch and then pin it, and do that straight around. And then when I'm done with that, I should be finished with the top, and then I can show you the final result. So let's do that. I just need to hem the bottom, and like I said, all I'm doing is pinning 1/2 inch all around, and then that the hem will be finished. And then I'm going to run a stitch. So I'm just going to change my thing to a straight stitch. I'm going to put it on 3, the stitch length, and I'm going to also stitch a 1/4 inch away from the neckline. And then once I'm done with that, then I will show you the finished top. So just hang on, we're almost there. So this is the finished top, and the sleeves are a little bit shorter than what the model has because I had to cut that. That was way too long. So next time I do it, I will probably start the sleeve from here, and that way I'll have more of a ruffle as opposed to what I already have. But I am so in love with this top. It turned out so nice, and I will definitely make more of these. If you have made it this far and you have not subscribed, tell me, what are you waiting on? Like, comment, share my videos with all those persons who like sewing, your family, your friends, and those who just want to be inspired. I will see you in the next video. Be blessed. Bye.